There was a whole lot of sucking going on this week.
Would you put a stranger's finger in your mouth and start sucking on it?
Not without a tractor trailer truckload full of hand sanitizer.
Well, even with the sanitizers, that's not going to happen. Not without me seeing somebody's lab work.
Welcome to Cliff Alerts. Today we're going to be talking about TV One's reality-based TV series, The One, season number 1, episode number 6.
But before we get into it, please like, share, and subscribe. Please click that notification button so you know when we upload new content. And we thank you and appreciate you for your support of this channel. So here we go.
Yeah, this week starts with Brent and Ashley talking about what it's going to be like going into their final week of date selections and their final rounds of dates. And Ashley is going to be going body painting, and Brent has selected an activity that's kind of difficult, aerial acrobatics.
Right. And Tammy and Kirk came through bringing coffee and treats, and they were breaking down the dates and the excitement of eventually moving into the mansion next week. Brent had a conversation in the kitchen.
Yeah, and Kirk tried to get Brent to be more intentional or specific about what it is that he's looking for. So he asked him basically, "Man, what kind of fruit do you like?" And he says, "All kinds of fruit,
Right.
and
Because
strawberries."
he was eating a bowl of fruit. Yeah.
Right. And then he asked him, he said, "Is there a specific type of fruit that you like more than others?" And he said, "Yeah, I like grapes." So he basically told Brent, that, hey man, you've got to look for grapes with respect to your actions out there when you're trying to find the one.
Right.
You have to be intentional about looking for grapes, not strawberries, not peaches, not bananas, plums, or whatever else you like to eat in the fruit family. You got to look specifically and focus specifically on grapes.
Brent thought that was wisdom, so he decided he's going to take that advice. So the couples are on their way to their dates. Ashley is doing that body painting thing, and her first date came through. His name is Vaughn. He's a spa owner, and the brother is buff and not hard on the eyes.
His competition, shall we say, for the week was Matthew. He was also 34 years old. He's a logistics manager.
Ashley paid particular attention to Matthew. She said from the gate that she was sexually attracted to him. But first, the two men were painting her arms. There has been a drought for over 3 years, so she was excited at the opportunity to touch on those brothers, and
Yeah,
she took full advantage of it.
and Vaughn could tell because he actually did a pec flex for her that got her, shall we say, high.
Vaughn is asking questions, but Ashley is not paying attention because
Yeah, the physiques caused a loss of focus.
yeah, she was done. We move on to Brent and his dates.
Yeah, they're going to be doing aerial acrobatics. First to arrive was Jasmine. She's a 30-year-old social media manager,
Right.
and they hugged and kept it pleasantly formal.
Yes, but Jasmine was feeling the salt and pepper. She liked what she was seeing, and Brent too had his shirt off so he can show them what he was working with.
And Brent's other date arrived. Her name was Leah, and she's a 29-year-old realtor,
And Leah looked young. and
real young.
and that was a pause for Brent. He moved on with the date, but he did notice how young she looked. In fact, he noted that both of them were young. The aerial acrobatics was a little difficult for both women, but
Yeah, and
Leah had a better time of it than Jasmine.
yeah, both needed the help from the instructor, and Brent was just taking it all in when they were upside down.
Yes, because that's what he does. He takes it all in. He sat down at one point and asked the ladies, like, what are they looking for?
Mhm.
Had they ever been married?
Yeah, Jasmine is a native New Yorker, and she had never been married, and she wanted kids.
Yes,
Leah is she's a Cali girl,
California.
and she is also single and had never been married. But the difference between the two of them was when Brent asked them about their previous relationship. Now, Jasmine just got out of a relationship literally like 2 months ago.
Yes, and she tried to cover it up. She said that, sometimes you're out of a relationship, but you don't leave. So that was her situation. But Brent didn't like that at all. A red flag for him.
Yeah, there hadn't been enough time for her from his vantage point to kind of recharge, reset, and really do, I guess, the self-evaluation that I guess he thought would have been necessary to be able
Yeah,
to.
and cleanse his spirit from the other dude.
Right, right,
And Leah said that she was in a relationship, but they broke up. And her issue was that she was not considerate of the man.
right, and that was one of the things that she learned moving forward that she's got to be much better.
Right.
Hmm.
So Ashley and Brent met back at the house to discuss their dates. Ashley was excited for her dates because, she really liked the two guys that she got. Meanwhile, Brent seemed nervous about his choices because I don't think even from that time he was thrilled about the woman that was before him.
Right, because of this youthful appearance for both of them. I think he was expecting somebody a little bit more mature.
So at the party, everyone came through and they had a sex therapist on hand.
Yeah, her name was Marla, and she kind of set the tone for the evening in terms of what the participants would be talking about.
Yeah, she had oysters
Right, and other
and
kinds of aphrodisiacs to kind of
right,
get the tone started.
get stuff jumping. Vaughn wasn't feeling the oysters at all. He wanted
Mm-mm.
celery.
Mashed potatoes and macaroni and cheese.
He
He
wa-
wanted soul food because he
he
doesn't.
wasn't thrilled about the selection offered up.
Yeah, he seemed like he wasn't into seafood, and he definitely wasn't into shellfish.
Yes, he said he eats clean, and Brent also has an allergy to um shellfish, so
Right,
he
right.
didn't partake of it. So that was a little weird. She had food and they couldn't eat it because of one issue or the other.
Yeah, and Vaughn's refusal to sample the oyster caught Ashley's attention. And
She at that point believed that Vaughn was all about the body, and he thought that the body was all he had to do to be chosen, and she wanted a little bit more, and she was surprised that he wasn't open-minded to try something new.
right, right,
And it even irritated Brent
mm,
as well.
right.
He thought that it was country, and he didn't have good things to say about Vaughn at
Yeah, I
all.
thought that was kind of judgmental,
It
but
was.
and I didn't like that move by Brent, but it is what it is. But that wasn't the only occasion that kind of I guess came up on Ashley's radar because when after they popped the champagne cork, neither Vaughn nor Matthew had anything to drink either.
Right. Vaughn said that he has family members who are all about the alcohol. He probably witnessed not no good thing comes from it, so he decided that he was gonna keep his body and his spirit clean.
Yeah, clean
And
living.
Ashley was impressed by that. Matthew,
He's at the beginning of the process trying to put his best foot forward
right, and he
and
didn't
trying to
want to
show.
get distracted.
Right, exactly. He didn't want to show a different side, possibly, by having maybe a bit too much to drink, and he was trying to make a good impression.
Brent had his time with Leah. They both sat down and were talking it up.
Not really close to her
Come on.
mom.
Right,
Right. She was more of I guess, a daddy's girl.
right.
Yeah, and that was something that she seemed like there was still some leftover pain having to, kind of talk
Yeah,
about.
there's some issues there. She said she was raised by a brother and a sister.
Mm,
Brent asked whether her parents ever got married, and she
yeah.
said no, and he admitted that his parents didn't get married either.
Right. So they had that in common.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Jasmine interrupted because she wanted her time, and they sat down. How are you? How are you? They weren't really gelling or feeling each other. Their conversation seemed forced, and as a result, Brent looked uncomfortable to me.
Yeah, and one of the things that he mentioned with his one-on-one conversation with Jasmine was He wanted to find out if she is, still involved
Over.
with her ex, or is she truly over him, or is she still maybe seeing him on the slide or what have you? And she reassured him to know with no hesitancy that she is definitely over him.
Well, for me, that wasn't really reassuring. She was casual with it. You know, if something goes, you let it go. But if it comes back around, it is what it is. And that's not reassurance.
Right,
That
right.
means that the brother has a window or a door cracked if he so decides to come back. So that wasn't really appealing to brother Brent. So in my mind, he's doing a evaluation that Jasmine may not be for him because it's just 2 months out.
And fully available.
Ashley and Matthew were talking to each other. Matthew mentioned that he was celibate.
Ashley was thoroughly impressed by, just this notion that this brother who she just met had been celibate, and that, in her mind, I guess, revealed sincerity and a commitment to really pursuing that objective of finding the one
Yes.
in his life.
And then Ashley shared that she too was celibate for 3 years.
Hmm.
So that was a bond they had with each other. So Tammy and Kirk comes
They
through.
rolled through, yep.
Kirk looking to stir some mess up. The final selection was at hand.
Right, and
And Kirk
both
called.
both Vaughn and Matthew were called in. In terms of who she was closer to, or she felt like she had a connection to, that would have been Matthew.
Well, she said from the gate she was attracted to Matthew. And Vaughn was gracious, and Ashley stood up and gave him a hug, and she gave Matthew a hug as well. You could
Hmm.
see the embrace was strong. So then we moved to Brent's decision.
Yeah, Brent had both Jasmine and Leia come in. Based on who he felt like he had more of a connection to, it was the younger Leia.
Yes, but Leia wasn't having it, and good for her. Leia was able to stand there, cameras on, and say that, hey, I got a pass because I didn't feel any connection to you, and what you guys are trying to do is important, so I'm just going to move out of the way.
I think Brent was caught off
I
guard
thought
in
that
this one.
was excellent.
Yeah, you got to tip your hat off to Leia.
Excellent.
I mean, 29 years old to do that, that was very
Yes, it
mature,
was.
very, very insightful.
Yes, it was. Brent decided that because Leah, said that
Turned him
she would
down,
turn him down.
and obviously he wasn't feeling Jasmine.
Right.
So
He
that
did mention in the beginning of the program that he still had a soft spot for Ashley
from the prior
from the
week.
prior week, who he had to let go.
Hmm.
So Kurt said that they need to call Ashley, that they're gonna send her a car to pick her up.
Right, because
He
God
find because
instructed.
God told him. Brent got on the phone and he and Ashley had a conversation, and he formally asked her whether she wanted to return because he felt like there was, something that she can offer in
and
the mansion.
and he genuinely wanted her to be there.
So it's a good
In
thing
the end, he did.
Leah stepped aside. And
Hmm.
it's a good thing to see a woman who knows who she is and what she wants and is not afraid to speak that thing. And look what happened.
Hmm.
So good for Leah.
And because what I believe, that because she did that, a door opened up for her,
Absolutely.
and it probably happened as soon as she did that.
Right. No need to tie yourself down because you're thirsty.
Right, right.
There's some opportunity or someone else in the wings waiting for you. So next week, everyone will be in the mansion. All the girls for Brett look alike. I'm sure he is gonna be a happy man. It's gonna be some problems, you could tell,
Yeah. So
but he's gonna be a happy man.
relating to his focus and attention span.
Oh, and the ladies
Mm.
focus and attention span.
Hmm.
Ashley is excited, but I think she has a soft spot for Matthew.
Seems that way, don't it?
Yeah.
She's got, I think, a really nice, for lack of a better expression, crop of guys to choose from. I
Mhm.
think all of them have something going for them in their own way, and all of them represent. well.
Right.
Mhm.
And who knows, maybe she'll fool around and choose Brent. You never know.
Maybe, could be, you never know.
Anyway, God bless you and keep you. Please don't put the stranger's fingers in your mouth and lick and suck on it. It's not a good move.
Not even with a whole tractor trailer full of hand sanitizer.
I mean, do you know what dudes do
Do you know where their
in the
hands have been?
bathroom? Or even with sisters as well?
Wait a
Oh,
minute. Wait a minute.
I know
No.
all of us been employed and was in the stall and someone used it and just walked right out. Ah, gotta take that chance. You end up with pink eye or something.
You had to go there, didn't you?
Don't do it.
That was kind of nasty. You know that, right? What I am talking about or referencing is the possibilities of where hands have been. Like,
Stop me when I'm lying.
no, it's not. I can't because you haven't lied yet. But I don't want to hear about it. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying because it could go south real quick.
Oh, no, no,
We
no,
need to
no, no.
flush this conversation.
Have a good one.